All right. This is Sean Rueter with Cage Side Seats, and I have the honor and the privilege of talking to one stone cold Steve Austin. Thank you for your time, sir.
Hey, good to talk to you.
Great. Well, we are at Cage Side Seats. We're we like to call ourselves the best damn pro wrestling site on the internet. My boss, Gino Morosco, likes to run a lot of tournaments, and you are actually the winner of several of our tournaments. You won our Greatest Wrestler tournament. You won our best match tournament for WrestleMania 13, and you came in second in two others, and you were in the final four of another one. So, I don't know if you know this, but you're kind of a big deal with wrestling fans.
You know what? Wrestling fans are such loyal people. I had a really great career. I wish I could have made it a couple years longer, but I appreciate all the fact that I won a couple of awards.
Cool. So with that out of the way, let's talk about barbecue. How's that for a segue?
I love segues to barbecue. I love barbecue.
There you go. So the Wendy's commercials are great. We ran one of them on the site. I mean, people love them. How did that come along? Did you have to resist the temptation to give Carlton a stunner or anything? Or, how did they come to you with this?
Oh, you know what? It was something I just got a call out of the blue from one of my agents called me, and they said, "Hey, man, there's some interest from Wendy's. Want you to be a part of their Barbecue for America and Barbecue for Canada campaigns." And they kind of explained the background information of how the campaign was. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek type thing, and it just sounded great to me. Wendy's is probably one of my favorite stocks, if not the favorite stock to get. I'm a classic double cheeseburger guy.
Okay.
So that's kind of my ties to Wendy's. I've eaten probably, way too many of them. So anyway, I was excited about getting in business with Wendy's and spreading the word. It was all about barbecue and accessibility to certain parts of the United States. I'm coming from South Texas, part of the barbecue belt. So finding good barbecue is an easy thing for me to do, but not so much for a lot of other people. So being a part of the campaign to spread this awareness with a sense of humor was right up my alley.
Excellent. So I spent some time in Texas myself. So that's hardcore barbecue country. How do you answer, your friends and relatives who say this is just fast food barbecue? I mean, what are you doing, Steve? Come on now.
Hey, well, you know what? It's all about the barbecue and accessibility and making it accessible to people who aren't in barbecue belts, just like myself. So you can call it what it is. It's still barbecue. And at the end of the day, not every single town or city in the United States of America is going to have a badass barbecue shack, and that's the bottom line. That's why it was a great idea for Wendy's to make this available.
Amen to that. I'm all for barbecue accessibility. So that's the hashtag that people should look for, right? Is hashtag barbecue accessibility or barbecue for America?
Hashtag barbecue for America.
Amen. All right. So one thing that I was curious about, this really fits in, like you said, the sense of humor really fits in with the personality and the character, the brand that you've built up with your podcast, the Steve Austin Show on Podcast One, and your reality shows, Redneck Island and Broken Skull Challenge on CMT. Is that something you think about when you're picking projects and partners and things like that? If it fits into the brand and your personality?
Yeah, I think it's got to be a logical fit. I'm not trying to put a square peg in a round hole, but sometimes just to cross over, that's not a bad idea either. And it seems like, the last several years of my life, whether, through my career with WWE and, all the crazy things that had to line up for me to have the success that I've had, and then to segue out of professional wrestling or sports entertainment, and just to find the pieces of the puzzle it seems to just keep falling together for me. I don't really make a gigantic, large-scale plan with long-range goals. I got to take things as they come, one piece at a time. And so for this thing to come through and, be available to me, it was a no-brainer to jump on board. Again, I'm a big fan of Wendy's because I'm a long-time customer there. But, it's got to fit. If it had been, me, mop, and gloves like Joe Namath did back in the day, I'd probably cross that bridge too, but I'm trying to think of something that would have been out of the box that would have been a no-brainer not to do. I certainly put the Eichmann stiff arm up to a lot of movie projects I didn't want to be a part of, Back in the day, I think I did a few projects that, they weren't the greatest, but these days, if I don't want to do something, or if it's not the best move for me to make, I don't pull the trigger and execute.
Excellent, man. And you've earned that right, I would say. So you bring up movies. So the news just came out. Randy Orton's going to be doing the sequel to a movie you headlined, The Condemned. Do you see yourself going back into film and hitting back to Hollywood for that piece, other than just your television work in the future?
Man, if the right project comes along, I think it'd be a good thing to do. I'm really passionate about the reality television genre. I have a lot of fun here. I find that I'm more comfortable being myself, Steve Austin, in the vein of a reality television show than trying to be another character in a movie. That being said, I'm not opposed to it. I like it. Another thing I like about the reality television space and my podcast space is it's pretty much all ad lib and it's on the fly. I don't like to memorize anything, and so there comes the burden of memorization when you do the movie stuff. So it is what it is. Can I memorize stuff? Well, of course I can. But my passion is more in trying to do the best I can for podcasts and trying to, I'm working on some more reality projects as well. Movies aren't out of the question as long as it's the exact right thing at the right time, and it fits in the time that I have allotted for each project and in 365 days within a year. I'm going to be 50 on December 18th this year, and I'm looking forward to turning to 50. And I spent so many years on the road, I'm pretty picky with my time because I spent a lot of time away from my family, and now it's my wife and my dogs and myself. So I like to stay busy. I like to keep my profile up, my awareness. I like to pay the bills that they send into my mailbox, but I also treasure my family time because I didn't have enough of it back in the day.
Excellent. A good message for everybody. So along those lines, I think Dave Meltzer and some others have talked about WWE ordering a bunch of your merchandise, and speculating that maybe that meant something was coming down the pipe between you two parties again. Is that anything you could shed any light on for us there?
Man, I'd love to shed some light on that if I could. Dave Meltzer knows more about my career and my relationship with WWE than I do. But that being said, I was not aware that they had ordered more of my merchandise. I'm happy that they're still selling it, but, I haven't had a talk with anybody from WWE about doing anything in the near future, so, man, it's total speculation, and why there would be all of a sudden a new demand for some of the awesome stuff, I have no idea, but I can't speak to it because I'm giving you the real deal truth. I don't know anything of it.
Gotcha. It's probably the barbecue accessibility program that probably got people wanting more new merch.
I've got a lot of people hit me up on my Twitter account about that thing, and I was glad to be a part of the campaign. And this would have been the thing was, if I wasn't a fan of Wendy's, I would not have done the commercial. I did it because I'm a fan of Wendy's. I like their burgers, and it was all about the sense of humor and the message.
Absolutely. Like I said, they're great commercials. I mean, they got people talking. So, one last question, I'll let you go.
I don't want to make it all sound rosy. The only thing I'm mad about was that the wardrobe guy put me in a light gray shirt. Did you know I don't own one single light gray shirt, Sean, because it doesn't make my midsection look as streamlined as it should. So that's the only thing I would have changed about that campaign was my wardrobe. All
right. That's fair. I don't think I've seen you in gray, and I think I'm actually going to take that advice. I'm going to stick to just blacks myself now.
I don't want to sit here and give you an earful of, hey, everything is great. I actually do have one thing to complain about. It's that gray shirt.
All right, so for the next Wendy's campaign, you got to negotiate that up front.
Hey, that is going to be negotiated up front. Trust me.
All right, so you brought up, the shape that you're in, and you started, on your podcast, you had mentioned that you're getting back into shape. It turns out you were talking about Gold's Gym, but I can tell you from our website, if we put something about Stone Cold Return in a headline, we get 100,000 hits in a day. So I gotta ask you, do you consider maybe one more match? And if you do, or, you know, when it crosses your mind, when people like me ask you, what do you think about? Is it the money? Is it the health? Is it your image or your legacy or just the right story?
Man, it's probably been a little bit of everything. And, you know, I left when I did. That was at WrestleMania 19. We're coming up on 31.
Yep.
And that's in, Santa Clara, Santa Clarita. It's right down the road from the house, you know, probably a couple hundred miles from Los Angeles. And then you've got 32 in Dallas. If I were to do it, Dallas makes more sense. But then, you know, there's all the stars lining up in the right places. And, you know, when I left out when I did with the legacy that I had. And people remember, hey, I was looking up at the lights that night for the great one, The Rock, in Seattle, Washington. After I beat him 2 out of the other 3 matches at WrestleMania, 15, 17, and they beat me in 18. And so I went out like that. I wouldn't want to go out there and stink out the joint. I wouldn't want to tarnish anything that I'd left behind. And, you know, I've got to be able to go at least, Sean, at 100%, because to do anything less would be a disservice to the legacy and the career that I had. So it take 3 or 4 months of bump taking to do that. And, you know, is it all worth it? I'd have to weigh that out and hit the proper storyline. And one of the things I love about my podcast, Tuesday is a family-friendly show. I can wear a filter. I can talk to kids all day long and never say one cuss word. My Unleashed show, that's where everything but the kitchen sink comes into play. So there's the part of Stone Cold that lives right there between those 2 boundaries. And I don't want to go through anybody. I don't want to read a promo, have to memorize a promo. I'd have to go back and have carte blanche, free reign to do whatever I wanted to do, not crossing any lines in regards to language. But I don't want to go back into a scripted world where someone tells Stone Cold Steve Austin what to say. I drew a hell of a lot of money saying what was on my mind and in my heart, and I don't want anybody to change that. I don't know that I could exist in a system like that. So there had to be a lot of things and give and take on both sides. My part and WWE to make a match like that happen. And again, I'm not sitting here selling you a match. I'm answering your question.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think the fans appreciate that. I mean, like I said, that's one thing that I know that we talk about on our side is that, you know, that you're true to that across the board. And I think that's part of your legacy to this day is that people sense that there's no fake to that and you're not just doing stuff for the money. You've always done it because of your passion for the business and to entertain the fans. So
and you know what, Sean, you know, someone ever asked me, you know, hey, Steve, do you want more money or less money? Or, you know, I'm going to tell you more money. And I think anybody that you ask that question to is going to say, do you want more money or less money? Going to say more. Same thing. Do you want to be stronger or weaker? Well, if I can automatically be stronger, I'm going to pick that. But at the end of the day, it's not about the money. It's about doing the right thing for me and me being protective of my legacy. And amen. I love my wrestling fans as much as I can. But by the same token, I don't want to disappoint them, and I don't want to just do something and go through the motions. My heart has to be in it 120%, my guts and everything that I believe in, and we'd have to go out there and execute a ball breaker of a match to pull off what we'd have to pull off, because anything less than a 5-star special would be anticlimactic for me and defeat the purpose.
All right. Then that's the bottom line.
Because I said so.
That's right. All right. Well, I really appreciate the time. I know we were looking at about 15 minutes. I think we're up on it. So, you know, I just thank you again. And you want to cut one last promo for Wendy's? Tell us why we need to get on Twitter and start spreading the word.
Hey, man, I read all your guys' articles on Cage Side Seats. It's good to talk to you. My handle on Twitter is Steve Austin BSR. I happen to have a podcast that drops 2 days a week. Family friendly on Tuesday, Unleashed, everything but the kitchen sink on Thursday. You can download them free by going to podcast1.com or iTunes. All it is audio whoop-ass entertainment for people who drive to and from work or sit on their ass at work, doing the job at hand and paying those gimmicks they send in the mail called bills. And it was good to talk to you, Sean. I got some promos. I love talking about the business of pro wrestling. If you don't want to just talk pure wrestling one of these days for an interview, just give me another email or send me a call, and I'm happy to talk to you about anything you want to talk about.
Excellent, man. We will take you up on that.
You got it. I look forward to it. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Steve.
Bye-bye.
Bye.